The morning sun filtered through the blinds of my bedroom in Portland, Oregon, casting golden stripes across my face. I, Emily Harper, jolted awake, my heart pounding like a drum in my chest. It was July 4th, 2025, a date etched into my soul with fire and betrayal. I wasn't supposed to be here, not in this bed or life. I had died, my spirit crushed behind the cold bars of a prison cell. Yet here I was, reborn, my eyes blinking against the light of a day I'd lived before. My hands trembled as I touched my face, feeling the smooth skin of my 25-year-old self unscarred by the horrors of my past life. This was my second chance, and I swore I'd rewrite the tragedy that had destroyed me. In my previous life, this day had been my undoing. My adopted sister Lily had thrown a 4th of July party at our family's suburban home while our parents were away on a business trip. I'd trusted my sweet sister with her infectious laugh, who I'd loved since we were kids. But that night, her party sparked a fire that consumed our house and killed our mother, Sarah. The flames weren't an accident. They were a trap meant for me. Lily turned on me, her tears as convincing as a seasoned actress. "Emily set off fireworks indoors," she sobbed to our father, Michael. "I told her not to, but she wouldn't listen." The accusation hit like a sledgehammer. I tried to protest, my voice shaking, but no one listened. Then Ethan Carter, my boyfriend of 3 years, stepped forward. His warm brown eyes, which I'd once thought held love, turned cold as he pointed at me. "I saw her buy the fireworks, Michael. She wanted to make the party epic. It's her fault Sarah died." His words sealed my fate. Dad, his face twisted with grief, believed them. The police came and I was dragged away, my pleas, drowned out by Lily's wails and the neighbors' whispers. I withered away in prison, my heart breaking with every passing day until sickness and despair claimed my life. Only after death, in some ethereal haze, the truth unveiled itself like a cruel revelation. Lily and Ethan had been lovers sneaking behind my back for months. They'd planned to kill me that night, rigging the fireworks to spark a blaze that would trap me in the house. They wanted the Harper family fortune, millions tied up in Dad's tech business and our sprawling estate. But their plan misfired. Mom, who was supposed to be at her office, had come home early, caught in the inferno meant for me. When they realized she was dead, they pivoted, framing me to cover their tracks. The betrayal cut deeper than any flame. My sister, with whom I'd shared secrets and dreams, and my boyfriend, with whom I'd planned a future, had conspired to erase me. Worse still, after my death, I learned Lily's greed knew no bounds. In her rush to inherit everything, she orchestrated Dad's murder, hiring someone to make it look like an accident. The girl we'd raised, who Mom and Dad had loved as their own, discarded them like pawns. The pain of that truth lingered in me, a wound that transcended lifetimes. I sat up in bed, my breath-ragged tears stinging my eyes. I wasn't just angry, I was heartbroken. I'd loved Lily like my flesh and blood, braided her hair when she was scared, stayed up late helping her with homework. I'd trusted Ethan, shared my fears and hopes, never seeing the greed in his heart. Their betrayal wasn't just a crime, but a theft of my faith and love. But now I had a chance to change it all. The clock on my nightstand read 7:32 a.m., hours before Lily's fateful call would come. I wiped my tears, my resolve hardening. I wouldn't be the naive sister or the trusting girlfriend this time. I'd protect Mom and Dad, expose Lily and Ethan, and make them pay for their sins. My phone buzzed on the nightstand and my stomach churned. I knew who it was before I looked. Lily's name flashed on the screen, and with it the first test of my reborn life. I took a deep breath, steadying my shaking hands. This was no longer just my story, it was my revenge, and they'd never see it coming. Sitting on the edge of my bed in our Portland home, I clutched my phone. Lily's name still glowing on the screen. The weight of my past life pressed against my chest, memories of love and betrayal swirling like smoke from that fatal fire. To outsmart Lily and Ethan, I needed to understand them, not just their actions, but the roots of their treachery. In my previous life, I'd been blind to their motives, seeing only the sister I adored and the boyfriend I trusted. Now reborn on July 4th, 2025, I saw the truth. Their betrayal wasn't just about greed. It was personal, born from years of resentment and desperation festering in the shadows of our family's warmth. Lily came to us when I was 7, a quiet 5-year-old with wide eyes and a tangled ponytail. Mom and Dad Sarah and Michael Harper adopted her after learning her biological mother Christine couldn't provide for her. Dad's tech company was thriving, and our sprawling suburban house had room for another heart. I was thrilled to have a sister sharing my toys and teaching her to ride a bike on our cul-de-sac. But beneath her smiles, Lily carried a wound I didn't see. In my past life, after my imprisonment, I found her diary hidden in her room. Page after page spilled her bitterness, Emily's, their real daughter. I'm just the charity case. They'll never love me like they love her. She envied my bond with Mom, who'd braid my hair and sing lullabies, even though Mom did the same for her. Lily saw every hug as a comparison, every kind word as a slight. Her resentment grew like a weed, choking out the sisterly love I thought we shared. Ethan Carter was different, but no less dangerous. I met him in college, his charm disarming me from the start. He had a quick smile and dreams of escaping his rough upbringing in a rundown Portland neighborhood. His father was a mechanic, his mother a part-time cashier, and money was always tight. I told him about our family, sharing how Mom's fragile health made Dad protective, and how our wealth came from Dad's software patents. I thought he loved me for me, not for the Harper name. But in my past life, I overheard him in prison laughing with Lily about hitting the jackpot once I was gone. Ethan saw me as a stepping stone, his ticket to a life of ease. His ambition wasn't to build something of his own, but to take what was ours. Lily's jealousy and his greed intertwined, forming a pact sealed with whispers and stolen glances behind my back. Their plan, I learned after death, was chillingly simple. They'd rig the 4th of July fireworks to spark a fire, trapping me in the house. The Harper fortune, millions in assets, the house Dad's company would pass to Lily as the surviving daughter with Ethan by her side. They didn't expect Mom to be home that night. She was supposed to be finalizing a charity event at her office. When she died instead, their scheme shifted, pinning the blame on me. The cruelty of it burned Lily, whom I'd comforted through nightmares, and Ethan, whom I'd dreamed of marrying, had plotted my death without a flicker of remorse. The memory of their betrayal stung not just for the pain they caused, but for the love I'd lost. I'd spent nights helping Lily with algebra, believing we were a team. I'd shared my fears with Ethan, thinking he was my haven. Now those memories felt like lies. As I stared at my phone, Lily's call waiting, I felt a surge of grief mixed with resolve. I mourned the sister I thought I had, the boyfriend I thought I loved. But this wasn't the time for tears. I had to protect Mom and Dad and unravel Lily and Ethan's scheme before it could ignite. Their motives, Lily's envy, Ethan's greed, were clear now, and I wouldn't underestimate them again. The Portland sun climbed higher, casting shadows on my bedroom floor. I took a deep breath, my finger hovering over the answer button. This call was the first move in their game, but this time I'd be the one setting the board. The Portland morning hummed outside my window, the distant crackle of early 4th of July fireworks echoing through our suburban neighborhood. I sat frozen on my bed, the phone in my hand, buzzing insistently with Lily's name on the screen. My heart thudded, each vibration a reminder of the betrayal that had ended my previous life. On July 4th, 2025, Emily Harper was reborn, gifted a second chance to rewrite a tragedy that had burned my world to ash. In my past life, this call had been the spark that ignited my downfall. Lily's sweet voice had lured me into her trap, convincing me to buy fireworks for her party, a choice that led to our mother's death and my imprisonment. I saw through her facade this time, but the weight of her betrayal still crushed me. I wasn't just fighting for justice. I was grieving the sister I'd lost to jealousy. When I finally answered, Lily's voice was as sugary as I remembered, a practiced charm that once warmed my heart. "Hey, Em," she chirped, her tone light as if we were planning a picnic. "I'm throwing a 4th of July bash tonight at the house. You know how Mom and Dad are, they'd lose it over the mess. So don't tell them, okay? It's gonna be epic." She paused, then added, "Oh, and can you grab some fireworks? It's not a holiday without them. You're the best sister ever, Em. You'd do anything for me, right?" Her words dripped with affection, but I heard the manipulation now, sharp as a blade. In my past life, I'd agreed without a second thought, rushing to a local stand to buy sparklers and rockets, unaware they'd be used to frame me. The memory flooded back, vivid and raw. That night, Lily's party had spiraled into chaos. She and Ethan, my boyfriend, had rigged the fireworks to ignite near the living room curtains, knowing I'd be home. They planned to trap me in the blaze, making it look like an accident so they could claim the Harper fortune, Dad's tech empire, our house, millions in assets. But Mom Sarah had come home early from her office, exhausted from planning a charity gala. She was caught in the fire meant for me, her screams lost in the roar of flames. Lily's tears and accusations followed, pinning the blame on me. Emily set off the fireworks indoors. Ethan's betrayal cut deeper, his voice steady as he lied to Dad. I saw her do it. The police believed them, and I was hauled away, my life unraveling. Now reborn, I felt the sting of those memories. Lily had been my shadow growing up, trailing me through Portland's parks, giggling as we chased fireflies. I taught her to bake Mom's chocolate chip cookies, thinking we'd be sisters forever. Her betrayal wasn't just a crime, but a theft of that bond. My throat tightened as I gripped the phone, her voice still chattering. Come to the party, Em. You've been working so hard at the bookstore. Take a break. It'll be fun. The invitation was a trap, a way to place me at the scene. I wanted to scream to demand why she hated me enough to plot my death. Instead, I forced a smile into my voice, playing along. Sure, Lily. I'll grab the fireworks. Sounds like a blast. Hanging up, I stared at my reflection in the mirror, my face pale with sweat. The girl looking back was no longer the naive Emily who'd trusted unquestioningly. I mourned the sister I'd loved, who'd curled up with me during thunderstorms. But that Lily was gone, replaced by someone consumed by envy. I knew her plan: the fireworks would spark a fire, and she'd blame me just like before. This time, I wouldn't be her pawn. My mind raced, piecing together a counterplan. I'd keep Mom and Dad away, expose Lily and Ethan, and let their lies burn them instead. The Portland sun climbed higher, and with it my resolve. This call was their opening move, but I was ready to change the game. The Portland air was thick with the scent of summer grass and distant barbecue smoke. As I stood in my bedroom, the echo of Lily's call lingering in my ears. It was July 4th, 2025, and I, Emily Harper, was reborn, armed with the bitter knowledge of my past life's betrayal. Lily's sugary voice had just laid the trap. Buy fireworks, keep her party a secret, be there when the house burned. In my previous life, I'd followed her lead, oblivious to her and Ethan's plot to frame me for a fire that killed our mother, Sarah. Now my heart ached, not just for the sister I'd lost to jealousy, but for the family I'd nearly lost forever. I couldn't let that fire ignite again. My hands steadied as I crafted a plan to protect Mom and Dad, expose Lily and Ethan, and turn their scheme against them. I paced the hardwood floor, my mind racing. In my past life, the fire had been no accident. Lily and Ethan had rigged the fireworks to spark near the living room curtains, intending to trap me inside while Mom and Dad were away. But Mom had come home early, caught in the blaze meant for me. This time, I'd ensure my parents were nowhere near the house. I grabbed my phone and dialed Mom, my voice calm despite the storm in my chest. Hey, Mom, I got 3 tickets to see your favorite band, the Lumineers, in Seattle tonight. A 4th of July concert just for you, Dad, and me. Can you both be ready by noon? Mom's voice lit up, but she hesitated. What about Lily? I swallowed the lump in my throat, picturing Lily's childhood smile now a mask for her envy. She's staying at a friend's dorm for a study group, I lied smoothly. It's just us. Mom agreed, her excitement palpable. I could hear her humming as she started packing a sound that tugged at my heart. Mom's health had always been fragile, heart issues that worried Dad constantly, and I'd spent years cherishing her gentle laugh, her warm hugs. Losing her in my past life had broken me, and the thought of it happening again was unbearable. I pushed the grief aside, focusing on the next step. I needed an unexpected player to unravel Lily's plan, someone who could disrupt her carefully laid trap. That's when I thought of Christine Wong, Lily's biological mother. Christine had been a fleeting presence in our lives. When we adopted Lily at 5, Mom and Dad invited Christine to visit occasionally, hoping to ease Lily's transition. I remembered Christine's kind eyes and quiet gratitude when Mom shared photos of Lily's school plays. Lily had always known she was adopted, but she rarely spoke of Christine. Her resentment focused on me instead. In my past life, I'd found Christine's number in Lily's phone after my imprisonment, a clue to her divided loyalties. Now I dialed Christine, my voice warm but calculated. Hi, Christine, it's Emily Harper. Lily's throwing a party tonight at our house and hasn't seen you in ages. She'd love for you to surprise her. It's at 7 p.m., but don't tell her it'll be special if you show up. Christine's voice was soft, eager. Oh, Emily, that sounds wonderful. I've missed her so much. I'll be there. Hanging up, I felt a pang of guilt. Christine didn't know the danger she was walking into, but her presence would complicate Lily's plan, maybe even expose her. I pictured Christine arriving, expecting a joyful reunion, unaware of the fireworks Lily and Ethan would set off. My plan was risky, but it was my only shot to keep Mom and Dad safe and turn the tables. I glanced out the window at the Portland sky, streaked with the promise of holiday fireworks. The sister I'd loved was gone, replaced by a stranger who wanted me dead. But I wasn't the naive Emily anymore. I was ready to protect my family no matter the cost. The morning of July 5th, 2025 was heavy with the acrid scent of smoke as I drove back to Portland from Seattle, my heart a tangle of resolve and dread. Emily Harper, had been reborn, given a second chance to rewrite the tragedy that had destroyed my past life. My plan to keep Mom and Dad safe had worked. They were still in Seattle, blissfully unaware of the chaos awaiting me. In my previous life, this day had marked my downfall. A fire sparked by Lily and Ethan's scheme killed our mother, Sarah, and they framed me for it. Now, as I turned onto our suburban street, the sight of our family home reduced to a smoldering skeleton stopped my breath. Fire trucks lined the cul-de-sac, their red lights flashing against the dawn. A white sheet covered a body on the lawn, and my stomach churned, though I knew Mom was safe. Lily emerged from the crowd, her face ghostly pale, tears streaming down her cheeks. She ran to me, grabbing my arm with trembling hands. "Emily, why did you do it?" she sobbed, loud enough to draw curious neighbors. "You set off those fireworks inside. You killed Mom." Her words were a rehearsed echo of my past life, each syllable a dagger meant to pierce me. Ethan appeared beside her, his expression grim but calculated. "I told her not to light them indoors," he said, shaking his head. "She wanted a big show for the party. It's her fault." Their accusations hung in the air, heavy as the smoke, and a few onlookers whispered, their eyes narrowing at me. I stood frozen, the weight of their betrayal crashing over me. In my past life, I'd crumbled under these lies, my pleas drowned by Lily's tears and Ethan's false sincerity. I'd loved them both, Lily, the sister I'd shared secrets with under Portland's starry skies. Ethan, the boyfriend I'd trusted with my dreams. Their faces were masks hiding the greed and envy that drove them to rig those fireworks near our living room curtains, hoping to trap me in the blaze. They hadn't known Mom was supposed to be at work, but when she died instead, they'd pivoted to frame me for the Harper fortune Dad's tech empire, our house millions in assets. The memory of my prison cell, cold and suffocating, flickered in my mind, but I pushed it away. This time I was ready. My heart ached for the sister I'd lost, the one who'd laughed with me at summer barbecues, her eyes bright as we watched fireworks burst over the Willamette River. That Lily was gone, replaced by this stranger consumed by jealousy. I wanted to scream at her, to ask why she hated me enough to plot my death. Instead, I kept my face blank, my voice steady. "Lily, what are you talking about? I didn't set any fire." Her eyes widened, thrown by my calm defiance. Ethan stepped closer, his voice low. "Don't lie, Em. We saw you with the fireworks." A neighbor muttered, "That's awful." But I ignored the growing murmurs, my resolve like steel. I knew Mom and Dad were safe, and Christine, Lily's biological mother, was the one under that sheet, a tragic pawn in their game. I'd invited Christine to the party, hoping her presence would disrupt Lily's plan. She'd come to reconnect, unaware of the danger, and now she was gone, caught in the fire meant for me. The guilt gnawed at me, but I couldn't falter. Lily's sobs grew louder, drawing more eyes, but I stood tall, my gaze locked on hers. This was their move, just as I'd expected, but I held the winning hand. The Portland sun rose higher, casting long shadows over the wreckage of our home. The crowd's whispers faded into the background as I braced for the next act, knowing the truth would soon burn brighter than their lies. The smoldering ruins of our Portland home loomed behind me, the acrid smoke curling into the July 5th, 2025 sky. Emily Harper, stood firm, as Lily's tear-streaked face twisted with accusations, her voice piercing the morning calm. "Emily, you killed Mom!" she wailed, clutching my arm, her nails digging into my skin. "You set off those fireworks inside Ethan." My traitorous boyfriend nodded solemnly beside her, his eyes avoiding mine. "She wouldn't listen," he added, his tone heavy with feigned regret. In my past life, these lies had shattered me, sending me to a prison cell where I died, betrayed by the sister and lover I trusted. Reborn, I knew their plan: rig fireworks to burn our house, kill me, and claim the Harper fortune. But Mom Sarah was safe in Seattle with Dad Michael, thanks to my plan. The body under the white sheet wasn't hers, it was Christine, Lily's biological mother, caught in their deadly scheme. Lily's sobs were a performance, but they stirred a deep ache in my chest. I'd loved her fiercely since she joined our family at 5, a shy girl with tangled hair and a timid smile. We'd spent summers biking through Portland's parks, sharing ice cream cones from Salt and Straw, laughing until our sides hurt. I thought we were inseparable, but her diary, found after my imprisonment in my past life, revealed a different story. Emily's their real daughter, she'd written. "I'm just the adopted one, the pity project. They'll always choose her." Her jealousy had festered, fueled by every moment Mom braided my hair or Dad cheered at my soccer games. She saw love as a competition, and I was the rival she needed to erase. Her plan to frame me wasn't just about money, it was about claiming the family she felt she'd never truly had. Ethan's betrayal cut differently, but no less deeply. I'd met him at a Portland State University mixer, drawn to his easy charm and dreams of a better life. He came from a struggling family, his parents scraping by in a cramped apartment. I'd shared our family's story, Dad's tech empire, Mom's fragile heart, our sprawling suburban home, thinking he loved me for my heart, not my name. But his eyes had always lingered on our wealth, his ambition a quiet hunger. In my past life, I overheard him in prison laughing with Lily about taking it all once I was gone. Their affair, hidden behind stolen glances, was a pact sealed by greed, and her resentment a twisted alliance to steal my place. As Lily's accusations echoed, I felt the weight of those lost years. I'd stayed up late helping her with homework, believing we were a team. I'd confided in Ethan about Mom's health, thinking he cared. Now their lies were a mirror of my past life's nightmare, but I wasn't that naive girl anymore. The fireworks they'd rigged near our living room curtains had sparked the blaze meant for me, but claiming Christine instead. I'd invited Christine to the party, hoping her presence would disrupt their plan, but her death was a tragic miscalculation. Guilt gnawed at me, but I pushed it down, focusing on the moment. The neighbors' whispers grew. How could she? But I kept my face calm, my voice steady. I didn't start any fire, Lily. You know that. Lily's eyes flickered with panic, her performance faltering under my defiance. Ethan stepped closer, his voice low. Don't make this harder, Em. But I saw the cracks in their facade, the desperation beneath their lies. The Portland sun cast harsh shadows over the wreckage, and I stood taller, knowing Mom and Dad would soon arrive to unravel this charade. My heart mourned the sister I'd lost to envy, but my resolve burned brighter. Lily's resentment had set this fire, but I'd make sure it consumed her and Ethan instead. The Portland morning was thick with tension, the charred remains of our family home smoldering behind me on July 5th, 2025. I, Emily Harper, stood resolute as Lily's accusations cut through the air like a siren. Emily killed Mom. She cried, her tear-streaked face, a mask of grief, her fingers gripping my arm. She set off those fireworks inside Ethan. My traitorous boyfriend stood by her, his voice heavy with false sorrow. I warned her, but she wanted a big show. Their lies echoed my past life, where they'd framed me for a fire that killed our mother. Sarah sending me to a prison cell where I died. Reborn, I'd outsmarted them, taking Mom and Dad to a Seattle concert to keep them safe. The body under the white sheet wasn't Mom, it was Christine, Lily's biological mother, caught in the blaze meant for me. I held my ground, my voice calm. I didn't start any fire, Lily. The neighbors' whispers stung their eyes, judging me, but I clung to the truth. I'd loved Lily since she joined our family at 5, sharing summer days chasing fireflies in Portland's parks. Her jealousy, born from feeling like the adopted outsider, had twisted her into a stranger who plotted my death with Ethan for our family's fortune, Dad's tech empire, our house, millions in assets. The fireworks they'd rigged near our living room curtains had sparked the deadly blaze, but their plan had backfired. I'd invited Christine to the party, hoping her presence would disrupt their scheme, never imagining she'd become the victim. Guilt gnawed at me, but my resolve held firm. I wasn't the naive sister anymore, and their lies wouldn't break me. A familiar figure pushed through the crowd before Lily could press her accusations further. Dad Michael appeared, his suitcase thumping to the ground, his face etched with exhaustion from our Seattle trip. Lily threw herself into his arms, sobbing. Dad, Emily set the fire. She killed Mom. I begged her not to light those fireworks. Her words were a desperate performance, but Dad's eyes narrowed, his silence ominous. The crowd murmured, some nodding at Lily's tears, but I saw the storm brewing in Dad's gaze. My heart pounded, not with fear, but with anticipation. The moment I'd planned for was near. Then, like a miracle, Mom emerged, her arms laden with shopping bags from Seattle, her face confused, but unharmed. Michael, Emily, what's going on? She asked, her voice soft but piercing. The crowd gasped, heads turning, as Lily froze, her sobs choking off. Ethan's face was drained of color and his eyes were wide with shock. Mom! Lily whispered, her voice trembling. The neighbors' whispers turned to stunned exclamations. She's alive. Then who's under the sheet? I felt a surge of relief, but also a pang of grief for the sister I'd once known, now exposed as a liar. Mom's survival was my victory, but it didn't erase the pain of Lily's betrayal. Dad's face darkened, his hands clenching. Lily, what have you done? He growled, stepping away from her. Lily stammered, her eyes darting between Mom and the crowd. I I thought she was dead. Ethan tried to recover, his voice shaky. But someone died and Emily was at the party. I shook my head, my heart heavy with the weight of their deceit. I'd shared my childhood with Lily, teaching her to bake cookies and holding her hand during storms. Now she stood ready to destroy me. The Portland sun glared down, illuminating the truth. Mom's return had shattered their lie, and I braced for the fallout, knowing the real victim's identity would soon ignite an even greater reckoning. 7. The Portland sun burned fiercely over the wreckage of our family home on July 5, 2025. Its light exposing the cracks in Lily's tearful facade. I, Emily Harper, stood amidst the smoldering ruins, my heart a tangle of resolve and sorrow, as Mom's sudden appearance shattered Lily and Ethan's lies. Michael. Emily, what's going on, Mom? Sarah had asked, her shopping bags from Seattle dangling in her hands. Lily's sobs froze her eyes wide with panic, while Ethan's face paled, his accusations faltering. Mom. Lily stammered, her voice a broken whisper. In my past life, their false claim that I'd set off fireworks indoors killing Mom had sent me to prison where I died betrayed. Reborn. I'd ensured Mom and Dad's safety with a Seattle concert trip, leaving Christine, Lily's biological mother, as the tragic victim of their rigged fire. Now with Mom alive, their scheme was unraveling and I was ready to strike. Lily's desperation surged as she faced Dad's darkening glare. I thought she was dead, she cried, pointing at me. But Emily still started the fire. Ethan nodded, his voice shaky but insistent. She was at the party, lighting those fireworks. Their words echoed my past life's nightmare when their lies had convinced everyone I was a murderer. I'd loved Lily like a true sister, sharing summer nights under Portland's stars, teaching her to braid friendship bracelets. Her jealousy, rooted in her belief that Mom and Dad favored me, had twisted her into this stranger who plotted my death. Ethan, whom I'd trusted with my heart, had joined her for our family's fortune, Dad's tech empire, our house millions in assets. The pain of their betrayal stung, but I buried it beneath my resolve. I wasn't that naive girl anymore. As the neighbors' whispers grew, some still swayed by Lily's tears, I stepped forward, my voice steady. Officer, I wasn't here last night. All eyes turned to me, including those of Officer Andy, a burly Portland cop with a notepad in hand. I was in Seattle with Mom and Dad at a Lumineers concert. I pulled out my phone, opening the evidence. I'd prepared videos of the concert's twinkling lights, photos of us posing at the venue, and digital ticket receipts time-stamped for July 4th. Here's proof, I said, handing the phone to Andy. He scrolled through, his brow furrowing as the crowd leaned closer, their murmurs shifting. She wasn't even here, one neighbor whispered. Then who set the fire? Lily's face twisted, her panic palpable. That doesn't change anything, she insisted, her voice shrill. Someone died because of her. Ethan grabbed her arm, his eyes darting to the crowd. She bought the fireworks, officer. We saw her. But their lies were crumbling, exposed by Mom's survival and my alibi. I felt a pang of grief for the sister I'd lost, her laughter during our backyard barbecues, her hand in mine at county fairs. Now she was a stranger, her envy a poison that had sparked the fire. They'd rigged the fireworks near our living room curtains, expecting me to be home, but Christine, whom I'd invited to disrupt their plan, had been caught instead. The guilt of her death weighed on me, but I focused on the moment, knowing justice was near. Officer Andy's expression hardened as he handed my phone back. Lily, you accused Emily of arson and murder. Where's your evidence she was here? Lily's lips trembled, her eyes searching for an escape. Ethan stammered. We're not lying, but the crowd's whispers turned against them. Sounds like they're making it up, a neighbor muttered. Dad stepped closer to Mom, his arm around her, his face a storm of betrayal. I met his gaze, my heart aching for the family we'd been. The Portland sky gleamed above, and I stood taller, knowing my alibi had shifted the tide. Lily and Ethan's lies were burning out, and the truth was about to ignite. The Portland sun beat down on the charred remains of our family home, its harsh light exposing the desperation in Lily's eyes as her lies unraveled. On July 5th, 2025, I, Emily Harper, stood firm amidst the wreckage, my alibi, concert videos, photos, and ticket receipts from Seattle silencing her accusations. I wasn't here last night. I'd told Officer Andy, proving I couldn't have set the fire for which Lily and Ethan blamed me. In my past life, their false claim that I'd killed our mother Sarah with indoor fireworks had sent me to prison where I died betrayed. Reborn, I'd ensured Mom and Dad's safety, but the white sheet covering a body on the lawn told a tragic truth: someone else had paid the price. Lily's sobs faltered, her face pale as Mom's survival shattered her narrative. Ethan's eyes darted, his voice weak. Someone still died, Emily. The crowd's murmurs grew, their judgment shifting as Officer Andy pressed Lily for evidence. My heart ached, not just for the betrayal, but for the sister I'd lost. Lily and I had shared countless Portland summers racing through Forest Park, our laughter echoing under the pines. Her jealousy, born from feeling like an adopted outsider, had poisoned that bond, driving her to plot my death with Ethan for our family's fortune, Dad's tech empire, our house millions in assets. They'd rigged the fireworks near our curtains, expecting me to be home. Still, I'd invited Christine, Lily's biological mother, to the party, hoping her presence would disrupt their plan. Now, as the police prepared to identify the victim, I braced for the devastating truth, guilt gnawing at me for drawing Christine into this. Officer Andy stepped forward, his notepad in hand, his voice cutting through the tension. We've identified the deceased. It's Christine Wong, age 45. A gasp rippled through the crowd, and Lily's knees buckled. She stumbled to the stretcher, yanking back the white sheet to reveal Christine's face, her features still and scorched. Mom Lily wailed, collapsing beside the body, her cries raw and guttural. I covered my mouth, feigning shock, though I'd suspected this outcome. Lily, you killed your own mother, I said, my voice steady but heavy with sorrow. The neighbors' whispers turned to horror. Her real mom. How could she? Christine had come to the party, hoping to reconnect with Lily, her heart full of love, unaware of the fireworks rigged to spark the blaze. She'd been in the wrong place, caught in a fire meant for me. Lily's grief was real, but it didn't erase her guilt. She'd resented Christine for giving her up, yet craved her approval, a conflict I'd seen in her guarded glances during Christine's visits. I'd invited her to the party, thinking she'd unsettle Lily's plan, but her death was a tragedy I hadn't foreseen. My chest tightened, mourning the woman who'd trusted my invitation and wanted to mend her bond with her daughter, but I couldn't falter now. You set the fire, Lily, I said, my gaze locked on hers. You and Ethan didn't even check who was in the house. Ethan's face twisted with fury. Shut up, Emily. But the crowd's shock was palpable, their whispers now accusing. They killed her own mom. That's monstrous. Dad's eyes blazed with rage as he held Mom close, her face pale with disbelief. Lily, how could you? Mom whispered, her voice breaking. The pain of their betrayal cut deeper, knowing Christine had died in my place. I'd loved Lily, once shared secrets under Portland's starry skies, but her envy had turned her into a stranger. The fireworks meant to frame me had claimed an innocent life, and the truth was now a fire of its own, burning away their lies. As Officer Andy jotted notes, his expression grim, I felt the tide turning. The Portland air was heavy with smoke and truth, and I stood ready for the final reckoning, knowing Lily and Ethan's crimes were laid bare. The Portland sun cast stark shadows over the smoldering ruins of our family home on July 5th, 2025, its light merciless on Lily's tear-streaked face as her lies crumbled. I, Emily Harper, stood resolute, my alibi videos and photos from a Seattle concert having shattered her and Ethan's accusations. Officer Andy's announcement that Christine Wong, Lily's biological mother, was the fire's victim had sent Lily collapsing in grief, her wails echoing through the crowd. Mom, she'd cried, clutching the stretcher. I'd called her out, my voice steady. You killed your own mother, Lily. In my past life, their false claim that I'd set off fireworks to kill our mother Sarah had landed me in prison where I died betrayed. Reborn, I'd saved Mom and Dad, but Christine's death was a tragic misstep in my plan to disrupt their scheme. With Mom alive and the truth exposed, the tide was turning. Lily's eyes, red and wild, darted to me. I didn't mean to, she screamed, her voice raw. You pushed me to this, Emily. Ethan grabbed my arm, his tone desperate. Help her. I'll come back to you if you do. His words stung, a cruel echo of the love I'd once believed in. I'd trusted him with my heart, sharing dreams of a future under Portland's starry skies, but his greed for our family's fortune, Dad's tech empire, our house millions, had fueled his betrayal with Lily. Her jealousy, rooted in her adopted status, had driven her to rig the fireworks near our living room curtains, aiming to kill me. Christine, whom I'd invited to the party hoping to unsettle their plan, had died. Instead, her hope for reconciliation turned to ash. Guilt weighed on me, but I shook Ethan's hand off, my voice cold. "You're as guilty as she is." Dad stepped forward, his face like stone, his arm around Mom, who looked pale with shock. "Lily, how could you lie like that?" Mom whispered, her voice trembling with hurt. They'd loved Lily as their own, giving her everything: dance lessons, summer camps, and a warm home. Her betrayal cut them as profoundly as it did me. I remembered our childhood, Lily clinging to me during Portland thunderstorms, her small hand in mine. That sister was gone, replaced by this stranger, consumed by envy. Dad's voice was ice. "Lily, you're no longer part of this family." The words hit like a thunderclap, and Lily flinched, her sobs turning to a choked gasp. The crowd murmured, stunned by the revelation of her adoption. "She's adopted," a neighbor whispered. "No wonder she's so bitter." Lily's desperation surged. "You're playing favorites," she shouted, pointing at Dad. "Just because Emily's your real daughter, you won't hold her accountable. Why did you even take me in?" Her words were a twisted plea, revealing the depth of her resentment. Mom's eyes filled with tears, her voice breaking. "We gave you everything, Lily. How could you do this?" I felt my heart ache, mourning the family we'd been, barbecues and our backyard laughter over Mom's homemade pies. But Lily's envy had burned it all away. Ethan, sensing the shift, tried to back her. "She's just upset, sir." Emily's still to blame, but his voice lacked conviction, and the crowd's whispers turned accusing. "They're lying," someone muttered. Officer Andy scribbled in his notepad, his gaze sharp. "We'll need statements from everyone," he said, eyeing Lily and Ethan. The groundwork for their guilt was forming arson-murder conspiracy, and I knew the police would dig deeper, uncovering the rigged fireworks and their intent. My chest tightened with grief for Christine, who'd come to reconnect, and for the sister I'd lost. But I stood tall, the Portland air heavy with smoke and truth. Lily's eyes met mine, full of hatred, but I was ready for the final act. Their lies had burned out, and justice was closing in. The Portland air was thick with the stench of smoke and betrayal on July 5th, 2025, as the truth burned through Lily and Ethan's lies. Emily Harper, stood amidst the charred remains of our family home, my alibi concert videos and photos from Seattle having shattered their accusations. The revelation that Christine, Lily's biological mother, was the fire's victim had left Lily collapsed in grief, her wails drowned by the crowd's horror. Dad's cold declaration, "Lily, you're no longer part of this family," had stripped away her facade, and Mom's heartbroken tears mirrored my own pain. In my past life, their false claim that I'd killed our mother Sarah with rigged fireworks had sent me to prison, where I died betrayed. Reborn. I'd saved Mom and Dad, but Christine's death, a tragic result of my plan to disrupt their scheme, weighed heavily on my heart. Lily's eyes, wild with desperation, locked onto mine. "You pushed me to this, Emily," she screamed, her voice raw. His face pale, Ethan grabbed my arm, his plea, a hollow echo of the love I'd once believed in. "Help her, and I'll return to you." I shook him off, my voice like ice. "You're as guilty as she is." Their plot to rig fireworks near our living room curtains, to kill me for the Harper fortune, had backfired, claiming Christine instead. I'd invited her to the party, hoping her presence would unsettle Lily, but her death was a wound I hadn't foreseen. My memories of Lily sharing secrets at Portland's Rose Festival, laughing over Mom's pies, clashed with the stranger before me, her envy a poison that had destroyed us. Suddenly, Ethan's desperation erupted. He lunged, slipping behind me, his arm clamping around my neck. A cold blade grazed my skin, a pocket knife, its edge sharp with his panic. "Let us go or she dies!" he shouted, his voice frantic. The crowd gasped, backing away, as Officer Andy raised his hands, signaling calm. Mom's knees buckled, her cry piercing. "Emily." Dad's eyes blazed, his voice cracking. "Ethan, stop." My heart raced, not with fear but with the clarity of my past life's pain, betrayed, imprisoned, alone. I wouldn't let them win again. My hand inched toward my purse fingers, brushing the pepper spray I'd carried since my rebirth. Still on her knees, Lily egged Ethan on, her voice venomous. "She'll never let us go, Ethan, make her pay." Her hatred, rooted in years of feeling like the adopted outsider, was laid bare. The crowd's murmurs grew. "He's lost it." But I focused on Officer Andy's steady gaze. "Ethan, let's talk," he said, inching closer. Ethan's grip tightened, the knife nicking my neck, a thin line of blood warming my skin. Give me a car, he demanded. I want cash, too. His greed, once hidden behind his charm, was raw ugly. I'd loved him and shared dreams under Portland's starry skies, but Ethan was a lie. My fingers closed around the pepper spray, my resolve steel. As Ethan ranted distracted, I seized my chance. With a swift motion, I sprayed the mist into his face. He screamed, the knife clattering to the ground as he clawed at his eyes, tears streaming. I broke free, my heart pounding, and Andy lunged, twisting Ethan's wrist and pinning him to the ground. The crowd cheered, their phones flashing as they recorded. Lily shrieked, thrashing, as another officer restrained her. No, she cried, her voice breaking. I stood, catching my breath, the Portland sun glaring down. The police were closing in their investigation, already piecing together the arson fireworks curtain's intent. My grief for Christine and the sister I'd lost lingered, but I'd fought back. Ethan's desperation had failed, and justice was now inevitable. The Portland sun broke through the smoky haze on July 5, 2025, casting a warm glow over the ruins of our family home. I, Emily Harper, stood catching my breath, the sting of pepper spray still sharp in the air after escaping Ethan's desperate hostage attempt. His knife had fallen, his screams echoing as Officer Andy pinned him to the ground. Lily, restrained by another officer, thrashed and wailed, her hatred laid bare. In my past life, their lies that I'd set off fireworks to kill our mother, Sarah, had sent me to prison where I died betrayed. Reborn, I'd saved Mom and Dad with a Seattle concert trip, but Christine, Lily's biological mother, had been killed in the fire meant for me. With their scheme exposed, justice was closing in, and I felt the weight of my journey lifting. At the police station, I gave my statement, my voice steady, despite the ache in my heart. The investigation unfolded swiftly. Detectives found evidence of arson fireworks rigged near our living room, curtains soaked with accelerant, confirming Lily and Ethan's intent to kill me for the Harper fortune Dad's tech empire, our house millions in assets. Christine, whom I'd invited to the party to disrupt their plan, had been caught in the blaze, and her hope to reconnect with Lily turned to tragedy. The guilt of her death lingered, but I'd fought to protect my family. Ethan, in custody, snapped during questioning, lunging at an officer with a stolen pen. A gunshot rang out, and he collapsed, blood pooling, his eyes wide and lifeless. Declared dead, his greed had led to his end. Lily faced a bleaker fate. Charged with murder, arson, conspiracy, and aiding and abetting, she'd spend decades behind bars. As officers led her away, she clawed at the patrol car door, her screams piercing. "Emily, you ruined everything!" she shrieked, her face twisted with hatred. I met her gaze, remembering the little girl who'd clung to me during Portland thunderstorms, her laughter bright at our Rose Festival outings. That sister was gone, consumed by envy for the family she felt she'd never entirely belonged to. My heart mourned her, but her choices had severed our bond. The crowd, now dispersing, whispered their shock. She killed her own mom. One said their phones still recording the story, already viral online. The internet exploded with outrage. Lily and Ethan framed her sister, killed her birth mom, and tried to take everything. Comments flooded in, condemning their betrayal. Emily's so strong cheated on, nearly murdered, yet she fought back. I read them later, my hands shaking, not from fear, but relief. I'd shared my childhood with Lily, baking cookies, chasing fireflies, thinking we'd be sisters forever. Ethan's charm had once promised a future, but his greed poisoned it all. Their betrayal had stolen my trust, but surviving their scheme gave me strength. The police confirmed the evidence, firework residue, text messages between Lily and Ethan, planning the fire, sealing their guilt. Christine's death was a tragic accident, but their intent was undeniable. As I exited the station, the Portland sky was clear, the sun warming my face. Mom and Dad waited across the street, their arms open. "Emily, you're safe," Mom whispered, pulling me into a hug, tears soaking my shoulder. Dad's eyes were somber, his voice low. "Some sins you pay for yourself. They're no longer part of us." I hugged them back, my heart light for the first time in 2 lifetimes. The pain of Lily and Ethan's betrayal lingered, but it no longer defined me. I'd protected my family, exposed the truth, and reclaimed my life. The haze of my past life lifted, and as we walked to the car, Portland's breeze carried a promise of peace. I smiled, truly free, ready to live without their shadows.